Hey you guys, it's MJ. Welcome back to Pet Adventures again. Today is going to be a Meet My Pets episode. I think this is technically like episode 3. I know I have my Corys on the Meet My Pet series, but this is technically episode 3, but technically episode 2, if that makes sense. Anyways, I'm using them kind of as a one Meet My Pets episode just because they're kind of a team, kind of a pair. So I'm going to talk about how I acquired them and my stories with them. Also, if you guys do see something on Oscar's face, please do not worry about it. He's not really, he's hurt, but he's not in any kind of danger or anything. What happened is I was trying to introduce them to Lucky because, like I said, unfortunately, Lucky is housed alone, and I really, really hate seeing him live like that. But it was going really good at first. Well, not really good, but I had like high hopes for them, and I don't know. At one point, he put a decent gash in Oscar's cheek, but what's happening now is it's just healing up really well, and now it's just very, very dry, so it looks bad, but rest assured, I am definitely treating it quite often, and if it does get really bad and I get really concerned, he'll just be going to the vet. So let's get started on their stories. Now, how I acquired Charlie is what I'm going to talk about first. Charlie was my my second rat. So what happened was, at my old job I used to work at, this is before I decided to like rats, okay? So before you judge me, this is before I started befriending rats, and if it hadn't been for this, I may have not even befriended rats. I don't really know. But I worked at a place where they had feeder rats, and they only sold feeder rats. There were no pet rats. And unfortunately I didn't like doing that, but they were live, so technically he is a feeder. My only rat that was bred for a pet rat is Oscar. So that's just kind of how it happened. But what happened is Charlie, I think I just felt kind of bad for him, and at that point Lucky, I had already taken Lucky, and I thought that Charlie would have been a good friend that maybe Lucky could have went with, but that ended up being a disaster because I tried a couple things, and no matter what, Lucky would just get really, really, really aggressive with them, and there was just like no progress whatsoever. So that didn't happen, so I ended up just keeping Charlie by himself and then Lucky by himself. And Charlie was always just a pretty nice rat for the most part. Never really tried to bite anyone. The only time that Charlie has ever really bitten me was, sorry, they try to get over to their cage and I'm trying to stop them. Okay, so I did have to take a phone call. Sorry about that. That was like about an hour-long phone call. So I'm gonna have to remember where I was previously. So I think I was talking about how I acquired Charlie. Anyways, he was a feeder, and I ended up trying to get Lucky a friend, but that ended up bad because it just ended up aggressively. He ended up aggressively attacking Charlie, and no matter what I did, it just wasn't getting any better. So they both had to end up being separate. So then after that, I ended up wanting to get Charlie a friend because I thought Charlie was a nice enough rat to be able to be with another rat. And for the most part, I was right. I ended up getting, come here, this little boy, yes. I ended up getting my Oscar. Yes, I did. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we all love Oscar a lot. My boyfriend loves Oscar. I love Oscar. You know, he's one of our most prized rats, I guess you could say. We love all of them. It's just that Oscar has never really given us that much trouble in the past. Charlie and Lucky have given us some kind of trouble along the way. So, but we love Oscar because he's so innocent, so sweet, and he really gets along with rats pretty well. Anyways, so long story short, as you guys can see, I ended up housing them together and things worked out pretty well. I'm not going to say perfectly though, I do have two males together. They're both not fixed. So because of that, Charlie ends up bullying Oscar, but not to the point of where anyone is getting hurt. You might even be able to see it right there. He's on top of him. And you will hear a lot of squeaking, but he's just very dominant over him, but they never actually hurt each other. Never have, they never will. They've never made each other bleed or anything. Charlie, for the most part, is very nice to Oscar. It's just that he gets very dominant. He does what's called power grooming, where he grooms him too much, and Oscar doesn't like it. So, you know, basically they just, you know, he squeals and he's like, ah, get off me. But aside from that, they get along. They cuddle, they play, they have a lot of fun together. What are you doing? Nope. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. So basically, I think they're around the same age. They're about a year now, I think. But I believe Charlie's a little bit older. When I ended up getting Oscar, he was just a little bit younger than Charlie. So I really like having these two boys. They're a good team. They have a lot of fun together. What I really saw in both Lucky and Charlie is I saw a chance. Over time, working with the rats as feeders, I began to kind of realize that these guys deserved a chance, and it's not fair for them to have to be snake food. And I know you guys are thinking, how can you own a rat and then own a snake? Well, I guess it's just because I see them as both innocent. I see the rat just as innocent as the snake. And I guess I just feel very sympathetic for all animals, and yeah, I know. Yes. But yeah, sometimes you'll find a rat if you go to the feeder area of certain exotic pet stores. You'll find that some rats just have a personality that calls to you. And Charlie has called to me, Oscar has called to me, and so did Lucky. And that's how I acquired Charlie. Now, how did I get Oscar? Fun story. I actually got Oscar from my next job. My next job, they sold rats as pets. So what happened was, I don't know, that the day that I think I kind of knew I wanted Oscar was, Oscar had a cage mate. Him and his cage mate, I actually ended up selling to somebody. But the very next day I came to work and they were back there, which meant they were returned, and so was the cage, because I saw the cage that said it was returned. And I was actually really shocked, because the boyfriend, he loved the rats, and the girlfriend she loved the rats even more. What was really creepy is I asked everybody in the store, did they remember this rat being, like, I'm like, do you guys remember any rats being returned today? And it was really weird because no one knew. They're like, oh, we don't remember these rats being returned. But I know for a fact they were returned. The cage was returned. All the toys that I sold were returned, because I saw that it said returned. And I knew that the cage mate and Oscar, I remember them really, really well. I remember seeing that, I remember knowing exactly how Oscar looked and how he acted. Most of all, you can always tell a rat by its personality. And hey, don't chew on that. And I just really, really, really remember how Oscar acted, and his cage mate too. And I was like, this is not fair. And a little bit before I sold them, I was trying to introduce Oscar and his cage mate to some people, and Oscar ended up jumping out of the tank just to play with the people. Like, he was so excited. Yes, where are you? Yes, I know. He was so excited, and he really liked the people. And I don't know, I saw something in Oscar that I don't see in every single rat. Okay, what's going on here? What is going on? He's like pulling my head back. But I saw something in Oscar that I don't see in every single rat, and that was basically he was begging to get a home. In his own way, he was begging to get a home. I could not leave it at that. Not only did he get a home, but then he was returned. I felt bad for him because I was just like, this isn't fair. This kind of personality should be getting a home, and it didn't. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take one rat. Charlie needs a friend anyways because he wasn't able to go with Lucky. So at that point, I started introducing the two. And of course, I expected fights. Always expect some crazy ass fights. As long as they don't end up in a bunch of wounds all over the place, and as long as there's some progress, there's always a chance. And I spent a long time trying to introduce all my 3 rats together recently, and it just did not end up well. It was getting good, but the last time I tried to introduce Lucky to Charlie, he got so confident and he just acted out in aggression right away. So, I don't know, that kind of shows me that there may not be a chance. I'm still willing to try, but like I said, I just don't feel like there's high hopes at this point. But I may still try again. If I did film a lot of the progress, so if you guys do want to see that, just let me know. I filmed a lot of the progress that I had with these guys and Lucky, and slowly we went to just, you know, this down slope. But I'm thinking maybe I rushed it a little bit, and maybe I should take it a bit slower. Take it back and just start over and take it slower. You know, if anything, Lucky gets a lot of attention from me, especially since I quit my job, so I see him all the time. I play with him individually, and hey, no chewing. No chewing, you hear me? You either, no chewing. Okay, so I'm gonna have to rip this tag off, no joke, because they can't seem to stop chewing on things. Nice. What is this? Oh, I love you. But you need to get back there. Where did you go? Where did you go, huh? Where did you go? Where did you go? You know. Yeah, he gets grumpy when I try to play with him. So slowly after they were introduced, the fights kept lessening and lessening, and it happened pretty fast to where Charlie was grooming him and they were playing, so things happened very fast, very quickly, and about within a week or two they were best buds. Like I said, they do have that one problem where Charlie excessively grooms him, and Oscar squeals every night because of it, because it just irritates him. That's all it is, it just irritates him. If he really wants to, he can push Charlie off, but he just gets very submissive and he's like, ah. But never really hurt each other, so I'm not too worried about it. And now they're basically best buds. So yeah, one pet store rat, one feeder rat, best friends. So you guys, please just let me know if you like this series. Let me know if there's a pet that you want to know about in my pet series, Meet My Pet series. And we're going to see you guys later. Please leave a comment down below letting me know what pet you want to know about next in Meet My Pet series. Like I said, if you guys don't know what pets I have my All My Pets video, which is my first video. It showcases every pet that I own. And what are you doing? What is the point of this? What is this? Where are you going, huh? Where are you going? I don't think so. No. So we'll see you guys later. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video so that I know you're liking this content. And I'll see you guys. Bye! Oh.